Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you have not already subscribed, then please subscribe. Today I'm going to do a little video on lash lift. So lash lift is probably one of our most popular treatments in the salon. Our clients absolutely love lash lift. I think the reason probably for that is the fact that it lasts 6 to 8 weeks. You don't really need any particular home care with it, and your lashes do look amazing. So as you can see, Sarah's lashes are quite flat, bless her. Oh, flat lashes.
Pale.
Soon to be curly. The next thing I'm going to pop on are just our little shields. I don't know if you can see those little shields. So you just want to make sure with these seals, because they've got a bit of silicone on them, that you don't attach it to any of the pink part of the lower eye, because that's really uncomfortable and it kind of sits in your eyes. I'm just going to get Sarah to look up, so if you just look up, Sarah. You want to make sure that you don't get any of the top lashes in, but also that you don't put it too high up. Close for me. Perfect. I get my clients to close just so that I know that it's comfortable. Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah, it's fine.
Lovely. And as you can see, I'm really not very near her lash line on the lower lashes. I'm just going to do the other one. So I'm just going to put the shields on. I've popped glue on the back. Just going to pop them on. So what I do is try and get as close to the lash line as possible, and then just pop them on, and then just hold for a little bit, just to make sure that sticks really, really well. You can lift it up if you want to just make sure. Normally your corners are always the bits that don't stick. I'm just pulling the eye up just because I find that that helps wiggle it down closer to the lash line. I'm just going to check that I feel like that's really super stuck, which it is. So I'm going to do the other eye. Lovely. So I'm going to start with the outer corners and work my way through. Some people's lashes can be like super stubborn, some aren't, so we'll see what Sarah's like. I've not done your lashes before, I don't think.
Not a lash lift, no.
Is it Jazz that normally does yours?
No, she needed beautiful ones for me at Christmas.
So as you can see, I've just put the lash adhesive on. I always try and hold my shields just so that, one, that they're steady, and two, that they're not moving around while I do it. And as you can see, I just keep brushing these up so that they stick. You want them to go straight up, you don't want them to kind of curve off on an angle. Once they've started to stick, I'll then go back in, one, just to make sure that I'm not attached to the bottom. Once I've got to this point, I will then separate a little bit, and what this will do is just make sure that they are super spanned out, so that you get that really nice fanned look. So I'll move on to the next section. So what I'll do is I'll do one eye, and then I'll stick down the other one and come back to show you me putting the solution on, because otherwise you might get a little bit bored watching me stick these down. Now obviously before your client comes in, they really need to have a patch test to have this treatment done. So when you're doing your patch test, you need to make sure they're patch tested for all the solutions you're going to use, not just your tint at the end. You need to make sure that they're patch tested for your firming lotion, your setting lotion, the oil that you're going to put on, and also the glue. And you can do this by just popping it behind the ear, and just a little dab of each one behind the ear. And that needs to be done 24 hours to 48 hours before they come in. If you don't do your patch test, you will not be insured if anything is to go wrong. Some people will use disclaimers. I personally don't like disclaimers, if I'm honest. I just think it's someone's eyes at the end of the day, and yes, your client may walk away and not have that treatment done there and then on the day, but actually realistically, at least you know when you perform that treatment that they're going to walk away with lovely lashes and no allergic reactions or anything. So lash lift can last 6 to 8 weeks. It's one of those treatments that you can do and not have any maintenance for. And that's why most clients absolutely love it, if I'm honest. And it generally, when I have my lash lift will last me about 8 weeks. I'm really lucky with my lash lift. How long do yours last you, Sarah?
Mine are about 5 weeks.
So it just depends on the strength of their lashes. If someone's got super straight lashes, then they're not gonna get the wear out of them that some other people will get. You really want to make sure you can get as many of these lashes stuck down as you can. There'll be some new growth that won't stick down because it's too short, but generally they will all stick down. It's just sometimes you just have to play, especially these corner ones. They don't always like it because they're quite a lot shorter, but just persevere, because this is kind of the most important bit of your lash lift, if I'm honest. Because this is sticking them to the shield is what gives them their curl. The lotions are just to make them stay that way. Right, so I've stuck all the lashes down, as you can see. The next thing I'm going to do is put Curve Me on, which is your number one. It's normally always pink. I put mine in the top of a dipping dish. I'll just show you if I can without doing any damage to Sarah. So I just squeeze mine into the top. I use the little pouches. I love the little pouches because one, they stay really fresh, but also because they're not wasting product either. So I'm going to put mine along the bottom. I'm using a cotton bud to do mine. You can use like all different bits to do it. Some people use the little metal tool I use to stick the lashes up. So once that's on the bottom, and you really want it on the curved bit going up, so I'll pop that on both sides. And once I've popped that on both sides, I'll run it through. You don't want to get any too far on the tip, just because if you do, it will frazzle the tips of them. And you don't really want to end up with frazzled lashes. So you're really working on getting that on the lower part of your lash, at the root if you like, so that it's lifted from the root, not just from the tips. I'm just going to go back and put a bit more on both sides. You need a bit more than just get some more. You don't kind of want to be stingy, but you also don't want to be super generous, because too much solution will just burn them. So once my solution's on, I'm going to stick the timer on. I'm going to leave these on for 12 minutes. While Sarah's having that done, we'll have a little gossip, and then I'll show you how I take it off and how I put the fixing lotion on, which is the next lotion. As you see now, I'm just kind of smudging it over the lashes a little bit more, but nothing too much. That noise in the background is actually my dog, who's with us today. He obviously has heard something or wants to go out. We shall see.
Bagsy not doing that.
So once that's on, I'm going to pop my timer on for 12 minutes, like I said. So I'm just going to pop that on. I always use a timer just because if I look at the clock, I'll end up going, what time did I start that? I can't remember. The next thing I do is I use like a cling film just to wrap them. Now some people just wrap them individually. I tend to lie mine all the way across just because I prefer it that way. And then over that, I then put an iPad over the top. Right, so Sarah's had her Curve Me lotion on for 12 minutes. So I'm just gonna start taking that off. This is really easy to take off. You just literally wipe it off and just check that all your lashes are still stuck down nicely. So I'm just gonna go in, and with a clean cotton bud, I'm just gonna literally start wiping that off. You want to get off as much as you can. So once I've got to this point, I'm going to turn it over. So I can see that a couple of Sarah's lashes have come undone. So your Curve Me lotion, what it basically does is it breaks down some particles in the lash so that when you put your fixing lotion, it will then refix it into the shape it is. So at this point, if there's a few that aren't stuck down, go back in and stick them down, because it's the Fix Me lotion that fixes it actually into that curl, not the Curve Me lotion. If you're not using, I use Flirties, if you're not using Flirties, then it will be like 1 and 2, or Perm and Set, or, you know, whatever your preferred lotions are. But one is pink, and that's your first lotion, and the next one is blue. So the next, I'm going to just take it off this eye as well. Again, get off as much as you can with your cotton bud. You can see these ones, these 3 little hairs here have not done as they're told, so I'm just going to literally go back in with my glue. I'm going to pop a little bit there, a little bit on the lashes. And then stick that back down. Lovely, just like that. There we go, restuck. So again, using a clean cotton bud. I'm going to come in with my Fix Me lotion, number 2. And I'm just going to place that along the bottom. Now you can leave this for 12 minutes if they've got stubborn lashes, so which is what I'm going to do with Sarah. If you've done your client before and you know that they're not particularly stubborn, you can just get away with kind of 8 to 9 minutes. Oh. So Sarah's had her Fix Me on for 10 minutes. I'm just going to take that off. And again, exactly like I took the Curve Me off with clean cotton buds, and then I'm going to apply the tint. So when you make your tint up, you don't want to make your tint too watery, because if you do that, it's just going to seep everywhere. The other thing I do as well is I always tint my bottom lashes as well when I do my clients, so that it's the effect all over. I know sometimes people do an eyelash tint before they do this. I just do it alongside it just because it makes more sense. So I'm literally just going to wipe all that off so she's not got blue eyelashes anymore. Perfect. So your tint, I leave my tint on for 5 minutes. It really doesn't need to be on very long at all. And like I say, you really want your tint to be mixed up so that it's not runny in any way. The other thing I do at this point is I take my pads off, excuse my hairy arms, so that I can see those little lashes underneath. Sometimes the clients quite like having this removed because it's a bit more comfortable. So you're going to go in. Oh, sorry camera, as I knock you. And you're just going to apply. You don't need loads, if I'm honest. You just need a little bit. But this you definitely need to make sure that you go up to the tip. And what I'm going to do is just take off as much as I can with this before I start removing. As you can see, as you start removing it, what will happen is it starts removing the lashes off of the pad as well. So I'm just going to literally keep removing that. And you can see it's tinted her skin a little bit, but that will come off. So you want to get off as much as possible. And then I'm going to go in and remove her eye pads. Just like so. They'll come off quite easily. Some people use oil to remove it. You can do if you feel like it's too sticky. And I just kind of take mine off, which just make it just as easy, as you can see, just like so. And then I'm going to get 2, again, barely damp cotton pads. I'm going to pop that on the
that's
eyes.
nice.
It's the nice bit at the end.
Yeah.
And just keep wiping. Super curly. On the side as well.